Hey there, it's your boy Foxy, back for more relationship stories. Update. Am I the idiot for not putting my mom in a nursing home? Original post. I 19 male, live with my dad 53 male, brothers 17 male and 15 male, and my mom 43 female. My mom is the most beautiful soul ever, always there for us, encouraged us in whatever dream or goal we had. But 2 years ago, my mom suffered a major stroke. She fought hard to learn to be able to walk and talk again, and we were with her every step of the way. Things were going great until this past year because my mom now has unknown neurological disorders that renders her paralyzed to at times almost a vegetative state. In between those times she's fine, but can't be left alone. My dad is a truck driver but comes home every weekend, and we have a nurse who helps during the day while we're at school or work. Then I was offered a full ride at one of our country's top universities when I graduated. My family, friends, and my girlfriend was so excited about it, but none as much as my mom. I was excited too, but I just couldn't do it. I couldn't leave my mom's care on just my dad and brothers. My girlfriend thinks I'm sick because I have zero problem feeding my mom, changing her diaper, bathing her, dressing her, carrying her outside to sit in her chair. Neither does my dad or brothers. My girlfriend recently told my mom that she was destroying my life, and it would be best if she went to a home where others could deal with her. My mom sat us all down crying and apologized to us for being a burden. Told us she was going to look at homes so we could be free to live our lives. When we finally found out why she was saying this, Dad lost it. I called my girlfriend and told her to stay the heck away from me and my family, that she was a cold-hearted witch who belongs in hell. She called me a sick pervert, and now I have people talking about how I'm in an inappropriate relationship with my mom. I'm still angry because my mom is hurting and depressed. None of us want her in a home. But if it's really what mom wants, are we being selfish if we don't put her in one? Now for the top comments before reading the updates. Not the idiot, your hopefully ex-girlfriend was so far out of line that the line was a dot to her. That said, your mom's condition is a burden. She can't help it, nobody can. She isn't a burden, but her condition is. She's in no state to be taken care of by a family that needs their own lives. There are facilities and professionals for that, and I think all of you should sit down and talk this through as a family. It's nobody's business to tell someone how they feel about the situation. I hated my aunts for telling me to put my mom in a home when she got sick. I didn't ask for anybody's opinion, and didn't ask for help in any way, shape, or form. My mom passed earlier this year, and I won't ever talk to her family again for this reason. Caretakers obviously know what situation they're in, and some decide they'll take it so they can be with their loved ones. My mom would have been horrified if she understood how she was living in the end, but I have no regrets, as most caretakers that I've met in therapy and support groups don't. Nobody needs an outsider's opinion on their family and what should be done with them. Mind your business. Your girlfriend is a complete jerk. You need to take the dream university. I can promise you that more than anything in the world, your mom wants you to have your future. That has been her dream for the past 19 years. Seeing you succeed will give her more peace and happiness than you could imagine. I agree with the first part. But also, I wonder if OP could reach out to the dream school and ask for deferral, either until mom is more stable, which sounds unlikely, or until they can get better support networks in place for her. OP, dad, and brothers sound like they're pushing as hard as they can, and like the whole family is just made of love. And I wonder if OP would truly feel comfortable putting home to the back of the mind, and truly enjoying the experience if they had to leave now. Not allowing your mom to make her own decision on this would be the only idiotic thing you have done or could do. She's been through hell. Do not deny her the agency and respect to make this decision for herself. You do not have to agree with her choice or her reasons in order to support the decision of an adult you love. Mom's only making a decision about going into a care home out of guilt due to the hopefully ex-girlfriend. So this is a coerced decision, not a fair one to make. Small update. Dad's taking a couple weeks off. I sent him a link to this so he could read all the comments. Granted, ultimately any decisions will be made by him and mom, but he wants us all to sit down together and talk. I do want to let y'all know that I'm still going to school, but instead of an Ivy League, I'm going to University of Arkansas. My middle brother Jake is studying diesel mechanics, and Johnny the youngest has a ways to go before graduating high school and joining the Navy. Girlfriend is now in the X category. I'll let y'all know what happens after dad and mom talk with us. And now for the full update. So in the span of just a few days, a lot has happened. 1. Mom found my post and commented. She also found out that my ex had accused me of having an inappropriate relationship with my mom. 2. Yes, I got into Harvard, but I gave that up to help care for mom. I now go to University of Arkansas. My dreams of becoming a doctor hasn't changed, just the path. So Dad came home and took Mom out. I guess they had fun because they left frowning and came home stupid smiling. This morning the smiles dropped when we got a knock on the door. Apparently, Mom invited my viper of an ex and her family over. In a true hostess fashion, Mom was very nice with the small talk for a few minutes, then lowered the boom. Apparently, a few years ago Mom took care of ex's grandparents in a nursing home. She flat out asked if my ex thought Mom was being inappropriate with her grandparents because she changed them, bathed them, and helped dress them. The look on my ex's parents' faces was priceless. When asked what Mom was talking about, Mom explained that my ex was going around telling people that I was in a relationship with her because of me taking care of her. They thought we had broken up because I had cheated. When her dad found out what she'd been saying about my mom and I, he apologized to us and then lost it on her. After they left, we had a family meeting. Mom said she wants to go to a home because she doesn't want any of us to have resentment for giving up being normal teens or our dreams for her. She also feels like she has become a hardship on Dad. Dad just looked at her and informed her that her place was by his side. Unless it was unsafe for her physically, then he'd just move into a nursing home with her. As for me, I told her I'm fine with where I am. My brothers agreed too. We go out with friends, though most of our friends prefer to hang at our house. We go on dates, we're normal teens. We did come to a compromise that we'd revisit the issue in a year. Unfortunately, the stress has caused an issue, so Mom is at the spa, aka the hospital tonight with Dad. Thanks again, everyone. Your mom is such a badass, saying all that to your ex-girlfriend in front of your family. I'm not a badass, but thank you, dear, for saying that. Makes me feel good. Showed Pops, and he said he should get me a leather jacket I can wear on the new bike he got. I can be his badass biker babe. You have a wonderful life, sweetie. Are you the mom? I didn't know you as of 2 minutes ago, but I am now madly in love with you. This small tidbit about you and your family's life is more than enough to understand why they want so much to take proper care of you. I wish you all the very best. Yes, and Mama, I hope you follow your dreams and achieve them. Remember, the roads of life may be bumpy and full of obstacles, but you can still reach your goals. The stars can be reached, sweetie. The only one who can hold you back is yourself. Lots of love. I want to be your mom when I grow up. OP's mom, you're a beast, and you've clearly raised a trio of great boys. Best of luck to all y'all, wherever and however you guys choose to go, and may your ex have triple fudge shards in an all-white outfit. She's special. Even now, if my ex showed up needing help, my mom would help. I hope wherever your destination is, you know there is many roads to get there. And as Mom says, the journey is half the fun. Good for you and your dad and brothers for knowing and understanding what your own limits are and what you know you are all able to handle. Your mom sounds like an amazing lady, and you are all lucky to have each other. We learned by watching Mom and Dad. Dad would wake us up on a Saturday to go to Lowe's before they opened, because a neighbor needed help. He'd load us up in his rig, buy everything we'd need. Mom would meet us with groceries. She'd be cooking up a storm while we built ramps, widened doorways, and installed safety equipment. Sometimes they wouldn't be home, so a little elf would open a door. Mom also cleaned the house. They taught us by actions to care for people by doing, not just by words. Next story. Am I wrong for calling my mom pathetic, stupid, and a terrible person? My older sister's husband passed away years ago. They have 2 sons, 12 and 11. Should probably specify that her husband passed when the boys were 6 and 7. My sister is single by choice and has stated that she has 0 plans on dating or marrying anyone. She says she only loves and trusts one man, and that her love life isn't worth the risk of her kids getting hurt. Well, our mom has been consistently trying to get her married to Mike. He's a lot older though, while his daughter is a lot younger. Also, he and my sister do not get along, especially since my sister is more relaxed in terms of parenting, while he's more strict. He's also made comments on how if they were to get married, he would never see her sons as his own, and he has called them competition before, but he fully expects her to raise his child. It's ridiculous. Another fun coincidence is that my oldest nephew and Mike share the same birthday. Now that her boys are older, she lets them hang out with their friends, and then when they come home, she organizes a little celebration. She loves birthdays, so she goes all out. My sister and I were decorating the house for the birthday when we got a text from Mom saying, "Come quick, urgent." We panicked and started calling, but she wasn't answering, so we quickly drove over and were greeted by tons of cars parked outside the house and lots of noise and music. Turns out, our mom threw a party for Mike and tricked my sister into coming. Our mom didn't even say hi and just went, "I have some party clothes in my room." My sister was in so much disbelief and started to cry, but our mom was still trying to usher her into the house. She just ran back to the car. My mom looked at me and went, "Can you go talk to her? Mike's gonna be so happy to see her." I don't think y'all understand how shocked I was. My mom just would not accept that my sister does not want Mike in any way. So I ended up calling my mom pathetic, stupid, and a terrible person. My mom started to cry and started to ask me what my problem was. She said that she's my mother and that I need to have some freaking respect. Besides, this isn't even about you. I just rolled my eyes and walked off, but my dad heard and started yelling at me, saying that I'd better apologize or else. My parents don't even get along and our other siblings said that our mom's getting a lot of support, so now I'm wondering if I was the idiot for what I said. Am I? Harshly worded appropriate comments. Your sister should be telling your mother to f off with the importuning. One no should be enough, even for her. And your mother's methods bite the big one. I'd be livid and likely calling her far worse. Your sister is responsible for deciding when she's capable of trusting another person in her life, and only your sister. If it's been years, perhaps some concern is justified, and suggestions to get help to deal with loss appropriate, but not move on. Here's someone. Not wrong. My sister has said no multiple times, which is why she could only cry in frustration and disbelief. Also, while I was sort of concerned, I don't think there is a need for concern, if that makes sense. My sister could date if she wanted to and all that, but she just does not feel the need to. She is, according to herself, pretty much content. As I said, that last is entirely on your sister to determine, and I'm glad to hear she's content with life as it is for now. She's being far nicer to your mother than I would be by simply leaving as she has. Your mother has to know that she's actively damaging her relationship. Not the idiot. Gross. What the heck is wrong with your mom? This guy sounds horrible for your sister. The guy sounds horrible for anyone. He is. He also got into a really bad argument with her eldest son a couple months ago and called him terrible things. Just a weird and strange man overall. Info: did your mom really interrupt your sister setting up for her own kid's birthday and expect your sister to stay at Mike's birthday and miss her son's? Yes. Is this a change from past behavior? Is there a chance this is a sign of early dementia? Or does Mike just have a crapload of money or something? Nah, she's always tried to control our lives, she's just never been this stubborn. Last story. Am I wrong for telling my husband not to co-sign on his ex-wife's house? I, 34 female, met Steven, 49 male, 2.5 years ago. It was an unexpected love match, but I found him to be funny and kind and charming, and we had loads in common. We got married about a year ago, and everything's been great between us. Steven was married to Tiffany, 49 female, for 7 years, and they divorced 11 years ago, and they share a 12-year-old son, Taylor. Tiffany and Steven both worked in healthcare and met in school. He's a doctor, she was a nurse. Their relationship ended when Tiffany admitted to infidelity and an affair shortly after Taylor was born. Steven and Tiffany divorced, and she lived with the man she had an affair with for 9 years. She had 1 child with him, and they have since broken up. She then met another man and had another child with him. They have also since broken up. This is relevant because several years ago, Tiffany opted to let her nursing license lapse and to stay home with her kids. The 3 fathers of her kids all pay child support, with Steven paying the largest amount due to his income. He has no problem with child support and loves his son. The issue arose after Tiffany's last breakup. She moved into a rental and then tried to get a mortgage approved to buy a house for her and the kids. But because Tiffany doesn't work and only has child support as her income, she cannot qualify to get a mortgage on her own. She has asked Steven to co-sign and is laying on a heavy guilt trip about it being what's best for his son and that his son needs a home with lake access. I don't know why. We live on a lake and Taylor is rarely in the water when he's with us. The home she's currently renting is lovely, spacious, and she can afford it, and Taylor has never expressed unhappiness about where they currently live when he's with us. When Steven told me this, I flat out told him not to do it. Not only do I not trust Tiffany not to destroy his credit, I also don't understand why she can't go out and get her license and start working again. There is a nursing shortage in our area, and they are generously paid. She has family nearby that will happily care for the kids. We'll take Taylor more often, and if she's unwilling to do this, then why not continue renting? Steven told me I was being harsh on her, and that it's understandable that she wants to own her own home. He's also said that he doesn't think she would damage his credit by defaulting on the mortgage. I was married before Steven, but I don't have kids. That being said, it cost me thousands to make sure my ex-husband would never have access to my finances again. Am I the fool for thinking that co-signing on a house with his ex is a bad move, and that she should go get a job if she wants to own a home? Now for the top comments before reading the update. No, this is a disaster waiting to happen. The only logical answer doesn't get more cut and dry than this. If, and that's a big if, he really wants to be involved in the ex's house situation, maybe it would be better if he bought and owned the house alone. X can rent from him so he knows everything will be paid in time. Rent could even be deducted from child support. But it's still a risk for him after his son becomes 18. Except don't deduct from child support, but move the money back and forth, or it's gonna look like OP's husband is suddenly paying a lot less child support, which could end up very badly depending on where they live. Not wrong, it's messy, and signing the mortgage means he will have to pay it, especially since he won't be on the house. It means it's all risk and no reward. It's a nice house on a lake. Unless OP and Steven are living in an area of the country that is uniformly distressed, this house will be quite in demand. And now for the update. I appreciate the many responses. Steven and I had a long talk about this when he got home from his conference. We discussed the issues this raises, and we both agreed it's a bad idea that would strain our relationship. He admitted that he was concerned that Tiffany would use his refusal to alienate his son, but also knows Taylor is old enough to come directly to him now if he needs to. He also apologized for worrying me and assured me he would have never moved forward without my consent, but wanted me to be in the know of what Tiffany was up to. I thanked him for being honest with me about what was happening, and knew I would have felt deceived if he hadn't told me, even if he was saying no to her. We did discuss the option of buying and renting the home to her, but the idea of maybe being forced to evict her due to non-payment made us both pour another drink. In the end, he messaged his ex that while he will always be there for Taylor, he can't in good faith co-sign on a mortgage for her. She saw it and left him on red. This is about as good an outcome as I could hope for, and my husband and I were able to validate each other's feelings and ultimately come to a decision that we feel is right for us. Thank you again for your responses, and it's been an interesting day reading all of them. I am now going to return to my quiet lurker profile. Hey there, it's your boy Foxy, back for more relationship stories. Update. My male 24, girlfriend female 25, mother female 55, took my Transformer toys to give to her grandson. Original post. My relationship with my girlfriend's mother has recently turned sour after she took my Transformer toys from my flat to give to her grandson. She has refused to give them back, saying that someone in their 20s shouldn't have toys in their flat. The issue is that they are collectibles in addition to toys. Since the majority of them date to the 1980s, their combined value is estimated to be roughly $10,000 to $11,000. Haven't gotten them appraised, but that is what I'll put down if I make the report. I informed her of their value, but she brushed it aside by stating, well, they're just toys. I even told her I'll go to the store to pick some toys for her grandson, but she doesn't want that and refused by saying they don't make them like they used to. My girlfriend and I have spoken about this, but she doesn't want to become involved and prefers that I handle it on my own. I told her that I have exhausted all options and that the next logical step is probably to report the items as stolen. Stealing something worth $10,000 isn't a misdemeanor either, this is felony level theft. Additionally, the mother took them by entering my flat using my girlfriend's key. My girlfriend said she would speak to her mother and ask her not to do anything similar ever again, but that I should let this one go and not escalate the matter, because if I reported it, we would be done. She said she would only talk and involve herself if I promised to not do anything about it, and I should value our 2.5-year relationship more than some plastic toys. I don't understand why she isn't valuing our relationship and getting my stuff back from her family. I just want my things returned. I genuinely find it hard to believe she is siding with her mother. We've already been into a few arguments over this over the past several days, and I don't think things will get better. A part of me believes that her mother will likely sell them for a profit or something, and then purchase the cheaper ones for her grandson to give to him on his 6th birthday. I don't want to involve the police and ruin my relationship with my girlfriend or her mother, because up until now, her mother has been nothing but nice to me. Is there a more effective approach to take? I need advice. Now for the top advice before reading the update. Are you sure you want to be with a girlfriend who supports her mother in theft, instead of just going and taking those toys and bringing them back to you? Do you suppose girlfriend might be in on this? Do you suppose maybe girlfriend is tired of OP's toys taking up space and cluttering up the apartment and put her mom up to the job of clearing them out? Just asking questions. Yes, I think she's in on it, but to sell them with her thief of a mother. I can't believe OP hasn't called the cops yet. Do go to police. Why you are concerned about making upset the person who stole from you and your girlfriend that supports that. She says the two of you will be done if you do report that. Probably for the better. Please do this. If you don't, in a year when she dumps you over something super trivial, you'll really regret not going to the police. These toys could literally be your retirement fund someday. Don't let her get away with this. Right. You're not the one who is jeopardizing the relationship. Her mother started the process, and your girlfriend is merely finishing it. She doesn't want to get involved when you're being affected, but she is perfectly willing to when it's her mother. Mothers are important, but so are boundaries and, the law. Report the mother, break up with your girlfriend. For real, my money is on that the girlfriend wanted the toys gone and gave her mom the go-ahead. And now for the update. I broke up with my girlfriend because she continued to take her mom's side and threatened to break up with me. Police report has also been filed. Wrote down the estimated value to be $13,000 when the police asked me for it. Fingers crossed now. Good job. I hope you will recover your property. Thank you. If she damages any of them out of spite, there's a huge community surrounding Transformers and kit bashing or restoring old models. It wouldn't restore their value, but if they're sentimental it might be worth looking into. I'm not too familiar with the world, but I used to work with a guy years ago that did it, and he still does years later. DM me if you're interested and I can send you his Twitter. He's not big by any means, but he'd probably be a good source of info. Everything will be out of the box now. No way a kid understands value. Unless she sold them to collectors, in which case she will have to pay you for them. She hasn't given them to him yet. She is waiting for his birthday, which is in a few days. I suspect she won't give them to him now after knowing what they are worth, and will try to sell them for profit. Wait, are you telling us that they're still packaged and in her place after the theft, where she knows their value, and she's refusing to return them still? It's 10,000% a scam and theft for profit, mate. Glad you dumped the ex and her mom. Good luck getting them recovered. Don't forget to get your lock changed. Already asked the building manager to do that. They should get changed by the end of the week. Get a door camera. If she was bold enough to take the key and steal from you, I wouldn't put anything past her. Next story. Partner 26 female of 7 years left me 28 male at the altar and now wants me to take her back. My head is at a million places right now, so excuse my incoherency. My girlfriend or fiance or ex-girlfriend had been dating since she was 19 and I was 21. We've been through everything together and basically grown up together. I've always known that when she really panics, she tends to run away from things. She used to randomly break up with me and try to dip when we were very young, but we talked it through and got better at that, and she hasn't done that for years now. Anyway, I proposed a year ago, and it was hardly a surprise. We'd been discussing marriage for years. We both knew we'd be on board to do this after she finished her MBA and got a job in my city. Everything was perfect. The past year has been very hectic in planning a wedding, since we're both from another country where grand weddings are the norm, and we had to fly people out, etc., etc. About 2 to 3 months ago, the nerves started to hit her and she tried to talk to me about it. I will acknowledge my faults here. She did try to bring it up to me that she was nervous, and the whole ordeal of a grand wedding was stressing her out. Ideally, she would have wanted a small destination wedding with a big party afterwards, but due to both of our families requesting a big wedding and inviting all their friends, we succumbed. She was also nervous about the commitment of marriage, finances, and other things. All of this we had discussed before, but I guess she just needed reassurance. However, in hindsight, I realize now that every time she brought it up to me before that she was anxious, I chalked it up to the normal cold feet people get and would just say it'll be fine and brushed it off. I was also stressed with a lot of work to do before I took my long leave, and planning and budgeting and all of it. We both make very good money, but this wedding was going out of budget, and we didn't want to take any money from our parents. All of it got pretty stressful for both of us. She seemed a little jittery the night before as well. I told her to calm down and just sleep. Mostly I was very excited to make her my wife, something I have been dreaming of since the day we started dating. She's the love of my life, and it was still hard to believe she was choosing to marry me. I was the happiest man alive. But on the day of the wedding, she dipped. She left me a note apologizing and saying she couldn't do all of this, and just ran. I don't even know where she went. All of it unfolded so quickly, and it was almost like a movie, all our family members coming into my room while I was ready to walk out onto the altar, asking me where she was, etc., etc. Pretty traumatic, and I ended up crying in front of all my family and friends. Our parents handled the guests and all of it, while I just went home, heartbroken. She wasn't home. I spent the entire day calling and texting her, and her phone was switched off. She walked in at night at 10 or 11 p.m. and just kept crying and apologizing. I told her to just go sleep and that I need time to think about everything that happened. Now I'm turning to Reddit because I don't know what to do anymore. She has apologized multiple times and wants me back, and says she's even ready to do the whole grand wedding again, and she regrets having run away in a momentary lapse of judgment. She knows she wants to be with me, but she just panicked and got cold feet. I can't imagine my life without her, but at the same time my trust is broken. I don't understand why she couldn't just be more of an adult and tell me properly before the wedding, although she insists she tried to. I feel disrespected and just heartbroken and embarrassed that I had to go through all of that. I don't know if I can or should forgive her. What if she does this again and runs at some other important event like she did on the most important day of my life? Any advice or suggestions on how to proceed, if I can continue with this relationship or if I should just cut my losses and move on? Thank you for reading this far. Edit for some clarifications. I did not expect to get these many responses on my post, and I have read through every single one of them. I appreciate all of you for taking out the time to read this and give me advice. There are some things I realize I should clarify or elaborate on based on the comments. Why she ran. I don't think it was the marriage bit. Getting married was not going to change a lot about our relationship anyway, and I know she was just as excited about getting married as I was. I should mention that while both our parents wanted a grand wedding, mine were way more insistent on it than hers. Her parents would have been happy with whatever choice she was happy with, even a court marriage. Mine insisted on a bigger wedding, as they believed that if we had a small one, it would make relatives and friends think we are poor, and she felt pressured to say yes because she wanted them to like her, and she knows how much I love my mom and didn't want me to have to choose. The financial bit. She makes much more money than me, and she funded at least 70 to 80% of the wedding expenses. She offered and was happy to do so. If she hadn't offered that, my parents would have had to step in and fund it, which she wasn't comfortable with. The financial stress of it was getting to both of us, but probably more to her than me. We've discussed finances in depth, and I have financially supported her when she was doing her MBA, and both of us are comfortable with the fact that she earns a lot more now and will contribute more to our expenses. It's all hitting me now that she ended up burning so much money on a wedding she didn't want, just to make sure my parents didn't dislike her. The history of running away. She used to break up and dip from the relationship in the initial 2 to 3 years of our relationship, and after working on it that time, we've really managed to get over it. She hasn't suggested breaking up or wanting to run away for the past 3 to 4 years at least. I don't know if I'll be able to trust her, because when she gets anxious, she can't think about me, like she didn't in this situation, and didn't consider the humiliation I had to go through. But I do trust her to not run away when we have kids or at other difficult points in life, I think. I'm not really sure, it's all hard to process right now. Thank you so much for all your advice. I will be taking a few days away from her to think about all of it and then decide on the next steps. Although yes, therapy is a starting point for both of us, individually at least. Why would you ever stay with someone who always, when things get difficult, abandons you? There is no trust. I was OP for 10 years. Only main difference was I was the breadwinner. She left me 3 times in our relationship, the 3rd time ending our engagement. Each time there was some other option and something we were working through. Each time she'd regret it and come back. On the last occasion when we were engaged, she left me for a guy in her program a week before my birthday and our anniversary and wanted to start again about 2 months thereafter. Rereading again is painstaking because OP realizes his emotions and concerns will never be considered in these scenarios and still wants to work through it. I felt the same for so long, kept trying to hold on to someone so ready to let me go. I still love her, but could never trust her. OP sounds like he's in the same place, in so much love he doesn't realize even with kids, she will abandon him when it becomes more and more stressful, between minimal sleep and increased financial and temporal responsibilities. It was the most heartbreaking thing I've done in my life to block her. It's still hard writing this, but how can someone trust a person that consistently leaves in stressful scenarios, especially when you always were by their side for theirs? OP, however hard it is, know this, that after all that, I found someone who stands with me when I cry and when things are hard. She left you at the altar and you're on Reddit asking what to do. You say you don't trust her, so to be honest, this relationship is over. She humiliated you in front of all your family and friends, and now she says she's ready for the big wedding. After she just wasted all the time and money spent on the first one. You would be a fool to just forget this and take her back. She has a history of randomly breaking up with you, she left you at the altar, and she will run again. She has proven to you time and time again that when things get tough, she will leave you. To be honest, it sounds like she needs some serious therapy before making any additional commitments, like getting back together or getting married. Her reaction to stress is immature and lacking in self-control, which are traits that don't align with taking vows and dedicating yourself to another person. I think you need some therapy too after such a traumatic experience. Don't rush back into being together. You have time and it's worth taking a step back to reevaluate. The thing is, having a wedding is certainly not the most stressful situation you'll face in a marriage, and having a partner who will run away at times of high pressure is just not workable. What if, God forbid, you got a terrible diagnosis? Or lost your jobs? Had a home burned down? Not to mention the entire adventure of having kids if that's in your plans for the future. Will you ever be able to trust honestly that the next stressful hurdle won't leave you standing alone and abandoned again? Last story. I, 24 male, am breaking off my engagement on my birthday. My fiance doesn't deserve me. I have spent the last 7 years with my girlfriend, 23 female. I plan my whole life around becoming financially stable to support our future marriage. Last Christmas, I was so excited when I bought her the most beautiful blue diamond ring. However, I didn't propose last minute because I knew I was ready for marriage, but she was still mentally a child. I told everyone a lie that I was waiting until I graduated from my master's program so I could give her the love and attention that a newlywed couple would want. However, the real reason is because she never showed me she was capable of taking care of herself and growing as a person. She touts that she has her college paid for, even though she won a California government lottery system that paid the entirety of her college degree and teaching credential, while I had to pay for my undergrad, master's, and now everything because I moved out of my house. She used to tell me before I moved out that I wasn't financially mature because she was paying for her car, phone, and insurance as I was saving up money to move out and pay for my degree like a responsible person. Now I am the one with a career job and a beautiful house to live in, but she is stuck working the same minimum wage job for the last 6 years, tutoring after school part-time, living at home with no aspirations of moving out. Even though I pushed her into being paid what she is worth by going somewhere else. She could easily be making 2 to 4 times more. I saved up all this money, made sacrifices to my entire social life, and took her out on dates every single weekend, making her feel like a princess and a queen for 7 years straight, only for her to tell me she isn't going to move out with me because I waited too long to propose to her. I can't remember the last time in our relationship that she complimented me without me giving her one first. Well, okay, guess what? You're the reason I didn't propose to you, not me. I now know my self-worth, and I am taking back my life. Now for the top comments. Hell yeah. Stay calm, stand your ground. Proud of you, brother. Hardest decision I have had to make in my life. Depressing spending my birthday alone, but I am happy it's for a good reason. Give yourself a special day. You have made her a queen/princess, and it's time that you do it for yourself. So do everything you love and buy yourself something you wanted. Have you talked to her directly about these issues? I'm not saying you're wrong to feel this way, just that an issue can't be fixed if only one person is aware of it. If it's beyond fixing, then I wish you the best and happy birthday. This post reads really passive-aggressive. Yeah, she seems immature. But communication is a two-way street. Her comment about not wanting to move out before being married isn't outrageous. That's a viewpoint some people have. OP's comments make it seem there's resentment over how easy his partner has it, which is ridiculous when you consider the fact that she has 2 jobs. 100%. I have talked to her about these things multiple times throughout the years, hoping that she would one day figure it out, but she never did. The catalyst of me moving threw everything into perspective. I believe this is the right move. You are still so young. Please date for a while until you find that right person who shares your values and drive. Also, sell that ring and travel. Go to Europe or Asia and dip your toe into a new culture. Enjoy your youth and being single. It goes by quickly. You're 100% right. Finding the right person who shares my values is such a big thing that I threw out the door. I regret it a lot.